Van Jones gets a shock as panel of black voters tell him they'd 1000% absolutely vote for Trump again. Uh, Trump has a lot of black support. I don't know why that would surprise him. This is the same thing I've been saying. I voted for everything that Trump is doing right now, and I agree with the overwhelming majority of the things that he's doing. But we're gonna play the clip. We're gonna talk about it. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. Has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. This is the best time to join. It's the first of the month. So definitely check that out. Also check out my link tree in the description. Has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I already said that. Sorry. Also check out my Instagram and my X account. Sorry about that, y'all. Been a long day. But let's get into this news. Now this comes from Red State, and they report that a panel of black voters spoke with CNN political analyst Van Jones and thoroughly eviscerated any theories about there being some regret when it comes to Trump supporters. The three individuals, each defined as not supporting the president before ultimately voting for him, had little hesitation when Jones asked if they were currently having second thoughts. Their comments show the media's coverage of buyer's regret has been more than wish casting on their part. Yeah, because it doesn't exist. Jones presented each individual with a simple yes or no question. Would you vote for Trump all over again? So let's get right to the clip. Here we go.
We started off the broadcast tonight with the president's cabinet shakeup, and that's, of course, only a fraction of what's unfolded over the last 102 days of the second Trump administration. The question is, what are voters making of it all? CNN's Van Jones has been talking to Trump supporters dating back to 2016. He is, as you know, a Democrat who is a former senior advisor to President Obama. For tonight's report, he met with a small group of black voters, a man and a woman from South Carolina and another woman from North Carolina, all of whom voted for President Trump. CNN's exit polling shows Mr. Trump got 8% of the black vote in 2016, and that grew slightly into the teens over the next two elections. Here's Van's report from Greenville, South Carolina.
There they are.
You do well.
And here we are in South Carolina with three Trump voters. You weren't always a Republican.
No, actually, I come from a family that was like super Democratic. My first time voting, I voted Democrat. I voted for Joe Biden.
What about Trump appealed to you?
Am I allowed to cuss?
Yeah, you can.
I mean, part of it is he's an asshole. I like authenticity.
You voted for Obama then you voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016, but 2020 you voted for Donald Trump. What made the change?
I began listening to someone, her name is Candace Owens, and I read her book, and it just opened my eyes to maybe he's not this person that I have been led to believe that he was.
So you voted against Trump in 2016,
Yes.
but then in 2020 you voted for him?
Absolutely.
Why?
I saw how things were going during his first term, and I was pleasantly surprised, and I was pleased with what was happening. I saw the economy getting better. I saw country relations in certain countries getting better.
What are some things that he's doing that you do like?
So these are reasonable people that notice the difference in Trump. Notice that he actually stands by what he says, and he's authentic, and and that resonated with these people. I mean, it's pretty simple. Look at who they've been running lately. They ran in 2020. They ran an old man Joe, who really didn't need to be there, who shouldn't have been there. Then they try to run the disaster Kamala Harris, who's just as fake as anything. I mean, the most inauthentic person that ever ran for government. And then you contrast that with Trump, who tells you exactly how he feels, exactly what's on his mind, and it's refreshing to most people, especially black people.
For me, I like the border. I just don't like the idea of someone coming here illegally and getting benefits that can serve my community.
Amen.
So that's the reason why I support him on that border policy.
When you think about the border, you think about people coming here who are getting more help than people who live here and who were born here.
Yeah, and I got that perspective not from news channels. I got it from social media. TikTok is like a holy grail. We even see it with the things that we learn about the United States government. Outside of the United States, people are showing Americans hey, look at what's going on. Do y'all know that your government is doing this? Have you seen this? Have you looked at it from this perspective?
You know, people, when they think about a Trump voter, they usually think about like a white dude with like a red hat on and a pickup truck, and y'all are not that at all. So Donald Trump's team went in, they took down Harriet Tubman's picture for a quick minute. They're trying to like knock out the black museums. What are
Hey, here you go with that. Look, check out Dane Calloway. If y'all haven't ever checked this brother out, who believes that Harriet Tubman really never existed. It was fabricated. So I would suggest y'all to go down that rabbit hole and check that out. His name is Dane Calloway. Shout out Dane Calloway for a lot of the work he's been doing over the years to wake people up about the lies and stuff we've been told about history.
does that have to do with the price of eggs, and how does that impact you?
In some ways, it's a slap in the face. In other ways, I don't care. I care more about how I'm going to take care of my children.
I don't think the average American cares about that. I know I am sick and tired of seeing Black people sit there and complain about something, but not taking action and steps to actually try to change things in an appropriate manner.
Under the Trump and Biden administration, they came to certain agreements with police departments to be less brutal toward the Black community. Trump has now ended all that. How does that help the Black community?
How is the community talking about being less brutal to the Black community? That is not true. Defunding police is not being less brutal. It's making our community less safe. It's doing the exact opposite of what they trying to say they want to do with the police.
Community.
I have a lot of issues with police reform and just with how police officers are treated as a whole. My husband is currently going through the process to become a police officer. The amount of hatred that cops get, even the best ones, I think has become a huge problem, because it has been, especially around election times, when it definitely comes out of like, oh no, the cops are bad, the cops hate you because you're Black, they're immediately deemed as evil.
This man is talking about running for a third term. Now, what do you think about that?
Well, Obama said the same thing. This is something presidents talk about all the time. They always talk about a third term. This is not the first time Trump said something about a third term. It's not the first time a president has ever said anything about a third term. So what's the big difference? He's trolling y'all, and see people like Van Jones on CNN is falling for it.
Third term, for me, absolutely not. I think it's at the end of these 4 years, it's time to move on.
This is a prime example of him trolling people, because people have said, like, oh, if he gets in the office, he's gonna be a dictator. He's gonna try to run for a third term. So he's like, okay, y'all think I'm gonna do that? I'm gonna mess with y'all and say this to tick y'all up.
I thought you loved this man because he's so authentic and he's such a truth teller.
But you need to know the difference between somebody trolling somebody, and this is a prime example of him being a troll.
If you had to do it all over again, would you vote for Donald Trump again, yes or no?
Yes, I would.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Now, in the future, I am not a diehard Democrat or diehard Republican. If there were a Democratic candidate who was more aligned for me, then I would vote Democrat.
If you go back in time, would you vote for Donald Trump, yes or no?
Yes.
I think I might know the answer on this next one.
She said yes. It's immediately yes. No, I'm sorry.
If you had to do it all over again, would you vote for Donald Trump, yes or no?
1,000% absolutely yes.
And Van Jones joins me now. It's interesting, most of the information that they are getting, or misinformation they may be getting, is coming.
Hold on. I love how what misinformation? He immediately said with the information, misinformation they're getting, but then he doesn't explain what is the misinformation. What is he talking about? They love CNN is terrible for this. They are horrible. This is why nobody watches them.
From online.
Really, 100%. The thing that surprised me the most was how much social media is dictating, especially the younger guy. You know, he said, look, I'm learning all this stuff about America that I didn't know. I'm like, where are you learning from?
Different perspectives. They don't want you to have different perspectives. This is why they call it misinformation. They don't want you to look at it from a different perspective. They want you to listen to their narrative. It's disgusting. This is disgusting.
TikTok. China, guys, you're a Republican and you're taking the Chinese narrative about your own country to heart. But that was a big part of their whole information ecosystem.
Yeah,
social media.
Does it seem to you that they follow news closely? I mean,
no, that was the other thing too. Is like, one of the women said, "Look, I do not watch any of the media." She says, I have some influencers I follow. Candace Owens being a big deal, and Newsmax.
Here they go. They mad no one's watching them. No one's listening to their propaganda. And no one's watching the mainstream media. Well, they're getting it from Candace Owens and Newsmax. Well, Newsmax is a reputable company. It's a reputable media company. So what are you talking about here?
And that is their information system. And listen, these are hardworking people. They're good people. They care about the country, but they are in a completely different information environment than people who I talk to every day.
Yeah, because the people I talk to live in the same bubble, and so they don't. This is what happens when you destroy the narrative. When you get extra information. This is information that they don't want you to know. This is why they want to censor you. It's you don't have the whole truth. You have their narrative and their narrative only. This is why they don't like other news sources. It's disgusting. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave y'all comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.